Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the School of Business and Technology's Alumni Spotlight Series. Our guest today is Worley Barker. Mr. Barker, please tell us about yourself, such as the year that you graduated and your current position.
Finished from Huston-Tillotson in 1986. Seems so long ago.
Oh, it's just
And
a
I
couple years
finished
ago.
finished with a business administration degree, and went to work in the finance industry for a few years, and then decided I wanted to go back and pursue an MBA. So I then went to Prairie View University, and got a master's degree. And since then, pretty much been in banking. My position now I'm with Texas Capital Bank, vice president, relationship manager, and my purpose and responsibilities here is I work with, assist small businesses, more importantly, assist minority and women-owned businesses in helping them access capital.
That is so cool. Oh my
Yes,
gosh. I had no idea that Texas Capital Bank was targeting that,
yes,
assisting that demographic. Like, that's wonderful.
yes.
Oh my,
LMI, minority-owned, women-owned, and then veteran-owned businesses. That's my focus.
that is beautiful. I am all about that.
Cool.
So, what made you choose Huston-Tillotson University for your undergraduate degree?
Actually, what I decided, me and another close friend of ours went to Huston-Tillotson. I went to Huston-Tillotson on a baseball scholarship. So I played baseball at Huston-Tillotson. I'm a former baseball player and was actually recruited by the head coach to come and play baseball. So I had the opportunity to go up and visit, like campus, small, wasn't too big. I knew I wanted to do an HBCU, and I knew I also wanted to get away from home. So Texas Southern, being close to home was, I just wanted to get away. Didn't want to get too far. And as I stated, a close friend of mine, my kind of childhood buddy, also had the opportunity to go play baseball. So we both came to Huston-Tillotson on partial baseball scholarship. I was on baseball scholarship and then UNCF an academic scholarship. Along with, we had four other friends we grew up with, went to our rival high school. They also were recruited by Huston-Tillotson, and the four of them also went to Huston-Tillotson. So it was a group of six of us. And at one time, we was known as them Houston boys. We hung out all the time, and so just had a great time. And like I said, the opportunity was to go and play baseball at Huston-Tillotson.
That's very cool and sounds like a pretty seamless transition
Yes.
from high school life over to college life, socially and personally. And
Oh,
um,
absolutely. Campus was we loved the campus. The atmosphere was great. Student body was great. Wasn't too big and it wasn't too small. And I know since then there's been a lot of changes and upgrades to the university, but I enjoyed it. Had a blast my 4 years there.
so,
Yes.
can you tell me a little bit about your favorite moment at HT? Like, I know that there's probably more than just one, but can you think of one to share?
Absolutely. Probably my favorite and obviously most enjoyable, obviously graduation. I had, obviously finished in 4 years and graduated. But a couple of things. I also pledged in a, fraternity at Huston-Tillotson. So, being in a Greek organization was great. We did a lot of community stuff. Also partnered with other fraternities and sororities and did stuff on behalf of a campus. And so I think probably, being in a fraternity and doing fraternity stuff with my fraternity brothers and things of that nature, really enjoyed it. I'm a social person, and so I just had a great time being around my fraternity brothers, as well as other fraternities and other sororities, and just doing things. Obviously, hanging out at the parties in the student union was a good time. I don't think I didn't do any work, but because I was an academic kid, I was an honest kid. And so, but just the campus or the college life, we just had a great time. It was a family, not only just with the student body, but even with the administration. Uh, I remember, probably one of my favorite teachers, and I heard that she had retired a few years ago. Her name was Miss Betty Etier. Miss Etier taught typing, shorthand, and Spanish, and she loved the baseball guys. And so we had a blast with Miss Etier, had a great time with Miss Etier. So just the administration, very friendly, open door policy. If you needed to visit and talk to a professor, you can go in and talk to them. It just, they made college, made it fun and made it enjoyable. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So why did you decide to major in business administration specifically?
I always grew up liking numbers. All through high school, I was a math person. I liked numbers, and originally thought I wanted to be in accounting. And because I just liked working with numbers. Well, as I got to campus and started exploring more of the finance, more of the business side of the world, I decided I didn't, versus just strictly dealing with numbers all day. I'm a people person, so I wanted to look at something where I can maybe also deal with people and deal with numbers. Because as an accountant, for the most part, if you're a CPA, you're probably in a back office and just dealing with numbers all day. So, it just, having the business administration opportunity gave me the opportunity to, I knew I wanted to do something in business. At one time, I thought I wanted to own a business, but once I got in banking and realized how difficult it is, small businesses, and how it's nonstop. You are the business. You're working 24/7. If it's a convenience store and somebody call in sick, you got to go to work. If it's a doctor's office and you got the staff sick, then it's just I knew I wanted to help businesses, but I had decided I didn't want to be in business, which kind of steered me to banking. But in terms of just Huston-Tillotson, I like I said, I knew I went to school saying I wanted to be an accountant, but once I had the opportunity to experience finance courses, business courses, economic courses, the whole business realm of courses, it just made me realize I knew I wanted to do something in business, and I didn't want to limit myself by just focusing on accounting or finance, and just kind of opened my world up to being in on the business side.
Awesome. So, what did you like most about being in the School of Business and Technology?
I think the professors genuinely care about people. I've had some classes at some places where, you could tell people is just there to get a paycheck. And I would say the professors genuinely cared about you being successful, obviously graduating, being successful. The other thing that, once I started working, there were some things that come up, and you could call back and get advice and get guidance. And so I would probably say, professors and administration. Administration was great. I know she's not there anymore, but we had the dean when I was there. Her name was Dean McCracken. And man, she was the sweetest person. No matter what was going on, you could go see Dean McCracken. And it was so funny. Dean, she knew us as the Houston guys. It was 6 of us, and there was a couple other people that hung out, but she knew us as those Houston guys. The Houston guys is something else. So she had a secretary, a guy secretary. And there were a couple of times we would just go to see Dean, and we would not even stop to say, hey, we would just walk by him, and he would get up all frantic, like, Dean, and she would be like, whatever his name was, Judd, don't worry about it. That's just how these guys are. That was just the atmosphere of the campus.
Oh, that's amazing.
This was the dean. She was like second or third in charge. But she would see her across campus, and you can see her, at UT, and you can holler, Dr. McCracken, and she would be like, who in the heck is hollering? But that was just the atmosphere. I mean, even though they were professors and they was deans and they was doctors, they dealt with you like Worley and Megan, just like regular people. They never made it where, oh, you need to call me Dr. So-and-so, or you need to call me Dr. It was fun. Huston-Tillotson, we had a lot of students from foreign countries. So that was my first time, Megan, having the opportunity to meet people from other countries, from Africa, from Ghana, and so it was just, again, I'm a people person. I love people. And so the opportunity to meet people from other places and learn about their cultures and, what they do and what they don't do. College gave me that opportunity. It broadened my horizon and I think made me more of a complete person. Whereas I just thought the world was just Houston, Texas. Where once I went to Austin and went to college, you start to realize the world is bigger than just Houston, Texas.
I totally understand what you're saying about not
absolutely.
Previously. Yeah.
No, I mean, my world was pretty much just Houston, growing up, just stayed here in Houston. Mm-hmm. And so just have the opportunity to, learn of different cultures and try different things. I think to me, every college student should have that opportunity. And I say all the time now, Megan, if I had to redo college and get out of college and start my career, I tell this to my daughters. I have 2 daughters. And I told them when they graduated, when you first get out, go see the world. If I had the opportunity to do it again, once I graduated, I would go see the world. I tell people all the time, I'd probably go to an island where I could I'd work out and then lay on the beach every day at 5 o'clock, drinking iced teas and just hanging out on the.
Sounds ideal. Yes, I want to do that. Can we build a time machine and go back in time and
go back? No, but just the opportunity to see the world. I think everybody should have that opportunity to see.
Yeah. So how do you feel that the education that you received from the School of Business and Technology has contributed to your career success?
I think it's had a lot, contributed quite a bit. I tell, I always say to everybody, Megan, you get out what you put in it. Mm-hmm. So, I took advantage of my studies. I didn't take for granted, what was not given to me. So I took advantage of it. And as I stated, I was I finished with honors. I was a 3.0 student. Finished college with like a 3.3, 3.4. I was, like stated, active. I was part athletic. I was on the UNCF scholarship. With UNCF, I know you had to maintain like a 2.5 or something. I was also an academic scholar as well. So I took advantage of it. Always tried to go beyond what was required or asked of me. I just, I like learning. I like being ahead, or I like achieving. I'm not one of these people that I want to follow or stand behind. I'm consider myself a leader. And so, being from Huston-Tillotson, I think it taught me to want to stand out and be a leader. Don't just accept mediocrity or just don't accept average. Just the professors I had and just what it taught me. It continued to build on the foundation that my parents gave me of, you're not average. You're above average. And don't let nobody ever tell you you're average. So it's amazing, when I meet people and I talk to people and, hear people that have gone to these huge schools and all that's great. But when I visit with customers and we talk about where I've gone and I'll tell them Huston-Tillotson, it's interesting that, I know about Huston-Tillotson. I had some family went to Huston-Tillotson and I had some people here, especially when you talk to a lot of older people. And I'm sure you've seen the history. At one time, Huston-Tillotson, it was 2 schools. You had one for the men and one for the women. And so a lot of times when you're talking to elderly people, church or different, but a lot of people have gone to Huston-Tillotson college back in the day, but I know it's university now. But there's a lot of positive, influential people that have gone to Huston-Tillotson. And George Bush Jr. was governor. I sat on an economic development committee with governor. I'm doing some stuff with the mayor here. I've I tell people all the time, I've my degree has allowed, my education has allowed me to do that I don't think I would have been afforded to do if I didn't have the education. And so, no, man, I'm a HBCU, HTU grad. It used to be HTC, nigga. It was HTC, but it's HTU now. I'm proud of my Huston-Tillotson University.
Wonderful. So
Absolutely.
in that case, what would you say to corporations about investing in the School of Business and Technology?
I would say definitely reach out. Chris, and if you haven't heard about it, I know on the presentations that we're doing, we are reaching out to HBCUs and recruiting students for our officers, our credit analyst pool, which is ultimately be a loan officer. And I want to say we just hired somebody that's in our training program, and Chris can tell you more about that. It's a young lady, and
I know who it is.
okay. So no, it's and I the reviews and everything I've heard about just the last couple of years of going to Huston-Tillotson, the bank in terms of managers and HR has been pleased and excited about it. So I would tell any corporation, if you're looking for hard working individuals that's willing to learn and work hard, Huston-Tillotson is definitely a place you should go and look at. And I said, if you need any evidence, I'm one of those people, because they know Worley's gonna work hard, gonna work, structural to try and get stuff done to customers, and that's what it's all about. So no, I would tell corporations look at Huston-Tillotson because they're gonna have some of the brightest and the most intelligent and hardest working students that leave their campus.
Thank you for sharing
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
So to kind of pivot back to your personal experiences, what would you say it has been the biggest learning curve for you that you've come across in your career?
The biggest learning curve. I, I I think one of the problems I have is I don't know if it's really a problem, but I'm never satisfied. I continue to feel like I could do more. I asked my boss a couple of days ago. I said, I just feel like that there's more that I could be doing. It's like, hey, you're doing a good job. Just chill, relax. I just I I want to solve every problem. I know that's not possible, and so I think in terms of my career, just knowing when to turn it off, meaning the end of the day, the end of the week, to keep from burnout. I think that's something that I've had to learn over my career, that there has to be a stopping point. I tell people all the time, look, I'm a perfectionist. I'm a workaholic. I just feel like I don't want to stop until it's over. And my bosses and supervisors say it's not gonna ever end. So there's no such thing as stop. You're gonna get it all done. And so I think the biggest thing for me is just understanding and knowing when to turn it off and be comfortable with where I'm at and the decisions and the outcomes that happen. Try not to continue to relive them or think about them. Just let them go.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing
Mm-hmm.
that. I know that was kind of a tricky question because there's so much that there's so many.
Yes.
And burnout is really
Burnout.
important to be aware of. And especially when you are so driven and you have so much passion for what you're doing, it can be really challenging to find that stopping place.
Absolutely.
And everyone's different, everyone has a different stopping place and a different way of recharging. And it's all about exploring that for yourself and figuring out what works best for you. But that like it really is really important to be aware of that. And I'm so glad that, you have worked on finding that stopping place for yourself, because you are very important. We need you. We need you to be here to help, and yeah, so that's great.
And that's it. I think just to add to it, now that you mentioned, and it's more so of finding a balance. I think that's the biggest issue, finding a balance. Especially, I would tell people just coming out, make sure you have a balance. Obviously, I didn't have that. When I first came out again, I felt like I needed to work from sun up to sundown. And even though I would still make time to, go play softball, baseball, do stuff, but still at the end of the day, I didn't really have a good balance. And I wasn't the only one, because I can tell you at one time, the big corporate phrase was work-life balance. You just didn't have a lot of employees that had a good work-life balance. And so now that we talked about it, I have it now. I do a lot better now. Obviously, I have a wife that's, she'll let me know when I'm starting to work too much. Obviously, when I was single, I had nobody to tell me, you got to have a work-life balance. You got to have a work-life balance. And so I know, in the early part of my career, that was, like I said, a buzzword or buzz phrase for a lot of corporations, work-life balance. And so I would say people coming out, despite you wanting to extremely well and succeed early and be successful early, make sure you have a work-life balance. You have to.
It's important to enjoy the journey on your way. The success will be there. Based on
Right.
who you are, you will succeed. But
absolutely.
It's best to enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
kind of piggyback on that, I have a fun question for you.
Okay.
If you wrote a book about your career so far, what would you title it?
The fun in banking, or having fun in banking, or working with small mom and pop businesses. There is, a lot of people, like working with the big $1 million companies, and a lot comes from that. But for me, I like working with the small mom and pop, because I really see a difference. I'm not saying that the corporate bankers and the corporate investors don't make a difference or see a difference, but when I help that mom and pop business, and a lot of times it's not big, Megan, it may be a $10,000 loan, and but they're very appreciative, because that 10,000 helped them get from, this month, next month, or either this year to next year. And to them, it's $1 million loan, because it helped them get to that next level or to where they're trying to go. So I would title it, having fun in banking and working with, small mom and pop businesses. I love it. So for me, I like seeing and making a difference with small businesses, and working with other partners and programs to try and help these small businesses. So.
Very cool. Well, in that case, I'll have my publisher reach out to your publisher and hire me for my editing skills.
No, I'll definitely reach out, and yeah, we'll have my people call you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Worley. This was so lovely.
Megan, you have my number, you have my contact. Please don't hesitate to call me as an alumni.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.